Jack's Restaurant. It's only for 1 week only, 1 week only. Should we just go to Rob right now? Or
No, because I'll let Rob get in because I know he's going to make a salient point. But I want to start here. Business is conducted in a variety of ways. And, based on your business experiences or lack thereof, or, you might have an immense amount of them, you're going to look at things a lot different. Now, is there a catch-all, a one-size-fits-all to negotiations? Clearly not. Every situation is different. Every position is different. The team you're with, their equity, the GM, there's a lot of factors here. And I don't know the Parag angle here, the guy who actually understands the money, right? And how the money's laid out. I don't know any of those details. We don't know anything. I just know on the surface, it's easy to say this, and I know you're going to have, points that are going to be nuanced here, but just on the surface, for the majority of fans, they're going to go, man, CMC quietly signed an extension behind closed doors, right? And wow, this is playing out real publicly with Brandon Aiyuk. And I just think that the majority of fans are going to be like, gosh, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. Will. And where I draw the line is it's pretty simple. You could say on podcast this and do you really got to, I'm not, it's not the end all be all, but you really got to post Washington Commander practice. What are we doing?
Well, you know
That's
what?
That's all. What are we doing?
Well, Debo was slashing his throat in the club saying, no Niners.
And that wasn't.
Go to the Jets. It wasn't the best look, but you know what?
That was in the little immature, I thought.
We have all forgotten about it. We've all forgotten about it.
I don't know. His first year, people were like, he got paid. He's hurt.
Right now, we've all forgotten about it.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it no more. Same thing. As soon as Aiyuk goes out there, catches 7 passes for 130 and a touchdown.
But did you forget about Bosa holding out when he had a tough year?
No, what reminded me of Bosa was he started making excuses for it. Well, that was the problem. He started making excuses. Debo owned it. He goes, you know what? I didn't handle it great. I was out of shape. I talked to Kyle. I made sure to come in better shape. I was good. Bosa started making excuses in the season and started throwing the defensive coordinator on the bus.
Well, look, I don't want to. This is not some oh my God, he's out of control. This is not where we're at with Aiyuk. I just say, man, come on, dude. It's kind of a bad look.
It's not the best look.
What are we doing?
It's not the best look. But when you hold off on him and he's like, look, dude, now the market has changed. Like the stock market, it's changed. The Dow Jones is up, buddy. It's up.
But you also have to recognize, if you're Brandon Aiyuk, you also have to recognize, hey, man, the way this team is set up financially and the way they're set up as a run-first team, you're going to get, pushed down in the pecking order. And it sucks.
You are. But you know what? He's got to do what he has to do. If you're not going to pay me and treat me like one of these premier wide receivers, then I'm going to hold out or just trade me. Because right now, I think people don't realize, we all had our pitch, right? 95-70 game. I had an opportunity to get on there and host a morning show. And look, I had my doubts about it. I really did. I was like, damn, waking up early, doing the morning. I'm in the afternoons. This is great. Get to go to caves and all this stuff. But sometimes you only get one pitch to hit. And you got to make sure you hit that pitch over the fence. Or you got to do something with it. You can't strike out, right? You got to take advantage of the opportunity. Basically, what I'm saying is, he's got to take advantage of his opportunity to get generational money. Now, a lot of fans are going to say, well, he already has it, and I get all that. But now you got a chance to really cash in, because if you step on that football field once in this position and you go out there and get hurt, and we're watching all these dudes get laid out in the receiver dock, then what's going to happen with their money? And then people are going to be calling you a W. Said, you should have got, why you helped?
I guess where I would go is he does have $15 million guaranteed to him just this year alone, right? Which is more than what Debo made his entire first 3-4 years combined. So, I don't think there's a catch-all with this. Believe me, there's a difference between 60, 70, 80 million guaranteed and 15 million guaranteed. But it's not like he's making $500,000.
No, it's
right?
not.
So I do think there's a little bit of middle ground here. And it's hey, the reality is we want to pay you. We can't do it right now. The way the money is set up.
They may not be able to do it next season.
Well,
and then he's unrestricted free agent.
I got you for 50, but here's what I'm saying.
And he's coming off a career year. Career year.
Our window to move you, we kind of screwed that up. We're sorry. We're going to give you the $15 million this year that you're going to make. Again, this is not going to make everyone happy, but there's the $15 million, and then we're going to franchise tag you, and then we're going to move you to a team that does have the money to pay you.
Well, then that may not work. You may not get the value for that. And also, his numbers may go down because you got to feed Debo. You got to feed McCaffrey. You got to feed Kittle. You may have to feed Elijah Mitchell. You may have to feed Pretty Ricky. White boy Rick, as they're calling him, Ricky Pearsall. Now you got another guy coming into the table, and his numbers may not look the same. So then their dollar signs go down, and their value goes down. It's a dangerous game. I hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But flip it on the other side with Brandon Aiyuk and how he's looking at it. I got all these balls here. You drafted wide receiver. I may not catch 75 balls next year. What if it's down to 60?
Yeah,
what if it's down to 55?
That's why you're not worth $30 million.
Well, to this team, maybe. But to another team,
okay.
Phil Simms.
Sure, but you're on this team now.
All right, where's the Phil Simms sound on Brandon Aiyuk? Do we got the Phil Simms sound on Brandon Aiyuk? If you could pull that up.
Like watching
because everybody else believes he's a top 10 wide receiver, and yet we're in our own bubble saying, yeah, go get your $30 million somewhere else.
Let's just do the exercise.
That is just nasty
on
work.
On this team, just the offensive side of the ball. Is he a top 3 player on offense?
On this team? I think after the Super Bowl, what were people saying?
Yeah, he should have got the ball more, but then I still don't think he's better than CMC. I still don't think he's better than Trent. And I would say he's not more important than Purdy.
Skill positions.
Well, no. I'm just doing the offensive pecking order.
He's number 3 or 4. He's number 3 or 4. No doubt. He's number 3 or 4.
Okay, but $30 million a year would put him at number 1.
It's fine.
But that's why
we don't even know if he wants 25. We don't even know if he wants $30 million a year. He was saying, pay me before all these other guys get paid.
Anything over 25 and he becomes the number 1 highest paid player on offense.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
On a run-first team, I'm not. That's just the way I'm building my team.
19.7 yards a catch, durable, doesn't miss games, great catch radius. Hell, he saved us in the Detroit game. Should have been an interception. Next thing you know, it's one of the most miraculous catches in 49ers franchise history.
He's a really good player, and this is very difficult because I feel like I feel like I'm defending the knocking down of Brandon Aiyuk when that's not the case. I really like him. But CMC is clearly the most important player on a run-first Kyle Shanahan team.
Who's the number 1 option in the pass game?
I mean, week to week it changes. That's why this offense is so different.
Aiyuk was your number 1 option in the pass game.
Last year, yes.
You may want to go back to the last 2 years.
Okay.
He's had great numbers the last 2 years.
I mean, I don't know.
He's gotten better and better and better and better. So, look, I just think...
I don't deny that he hasn't gotten better, and I don't deny that he's not really good. Like, he is really good. But to me, there is a number that's too much.
So, if it is too much, are Niner fans ready to move off from him? Are you ready to watch this team without Brandon Aiyuk, this offense?
I actually was probably more emotionally prepared to move off him around the draft because then I could have gotten something back that could help this year's team win a Super Bowl. I'm not in the business of moving him right now because whatever you net back, you can't materialize till next April. So that doesn't make me better. Right? So that's why I feel like we're kind of this is a good, the bad, the ugly little like wild west. We've all got our 6-shooters out and we're kind of just staring at each other. Whether is Aiyuk camp's going to blink? Are the Niners going to blink? What exactly is going to happen here?
Well, you know what? 408, Xfinity Mobile text line, couldn't get open during the Super Bowl. I say you watch a game back. There's a lot of times we saw Brandon Aiyuk running wide open and the quarterback maybe wasn't looking his way, or those targets was going to Deebo Samuel. Remember, Deebo got 13 targets and only caught 3 passes. And you talk to a lot of OGs, and Guru agree with me on this one. We talked to an OG 49er. I will not say who, but he goes, if there's a receiver that I'm keeping on this team, it is Brandon Aiyuk. And I hold that receiver in high regard. And there's a lot of teams. Look, think about how Brandon Aiyuk is being discussed nationally compared to our own little bubble. Everybody nationally is like, yo, go pay Brandon Aiyuk. He's a baller. Go get this guy paid. He's a baller. Phil Simms, get this guy's a baller. He's a top 10 wide receiver. Yet in our own bubble, we're like, yeah, we're good off paying him. But like, we can go replace him.
But on that same note, like part of, you have to also look at like building a team and the finances of how to piece it all together.
I understand.
And when you look down the pike, like
trust me,
Stephon Diggs is a good player. He's not on Buffalo because they're paying Josh Allen, and there was clearly some stuff also baked into it. But, like, you have to get cheaper at certain positions, and the way that they've spent their money, unfortunately, wide receiver's probably one of those spots where they're going to have to get cheaper.
But what's more important in today's game right now, the downfield passing game? Because we see
on
when it comes down
to the run game.
Yeah, but the run game don't work in the playoffs with us, right?
Well, I mean,
the run
it got
game
you
gets
pretty
stifled
far every year.
It's got you stifled.
It's got you pretty far.
Think about all the losses we've had. Super Bowl 54. 2021 NFC Championship game.
At the very end.
Last year in the Super Bowl. Hell, against Green Bay, against Detroit. What did you need to thrive and to move on in advance?
But
you needed a downfield passing attack.
Shanahan would say to you, like, none of that happens without establishing the run for 17 weeks.
Well, you got to throw the ball, though. At some point,
of course
it gets the Dallas Cowboys in the divisional round. Run game was getting shut down. What did you need to do? You needed a passing game to save you and bail you out in that divisional round playoff game.
I mean,
the passing game, the downfield passing attack, the vertical passing game, we're light years behind it. I'm sorry. We need the downfield passing game. We need wide receivers in today's space and pace game that the NFL is. I'm sorry.
They broke records last year with their little way of play actions. But I'm just saying,
like,
because they had balance.
Purdy threw this offense took off on another level because of the passing game, because of the downfield passing attack, right?
I'm also not paying a guy top-tier money for one great season, right? Justin Jefferson had to go through the song and dance. The guy's been otherworldly since the second he stepped on the field. Do I believe that Brandon Aiyuk could be different in a different situation? Sure, but we're not a different situation. This is the Niners and this is Kyle Shanahan, and I think there's a reason why they're where they're at. And yes, part of it is they spent money in other areas. Part of it is I think Kyle is looking for something at wide receiver that maybe doesn't align with Brandon Aiyuk. And part of it is also Aiyuk feels like he's being kind of tapered down. And I agree with all of those points. This is a tough spot.